Welcome back, climbers, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Laffy and Reese are mad, Rhal scales a cliff, Squash wants to go home, and Zaltanna opens a chest. Travelling across the frozen tundra, the team encounter further scars left by the death of gods. Seeking shelter, Rhal races up a cliff face to find a cave to protect them overnight, but this sanctuary in the storm was not empty, holding the remains of another brave adventuring party. Where does Laffy's fire elementals come from? Who were the people in the cave? And what is hidden within this chest? I guess you're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die.
As you open the chest, inside, you find that there are a couple of potion bottles. For those of you who found the potion bottles way back when, you recognize these as potions that are far beyond their use-by date. Perhaps healing spells, perhaps not. Perhaps healing potions, perhaps explosions. Who knows? Within here, you also find a couple of very thick tomes. They are leather bound, they have golden writing on them, but they're no writing that any of you would naturally recognize without your supernatural enhancements. You also notice that there is 4 golden coins. They're very shiny, they're very bright. Everything else in here is covered in dust except these 4 coins.
I'm gonna grab a coin.
You grab the coin. On one side, there is a single rune. The other side is completely blank. But it's pretty good. It's pretty hefty. Your like knowledge of metals and rock and all the kind of like stone cutting stuff. This is definitely real gold. This is nothing. This is not like false gold. It's not any of that crap. This is real gold. Just has a rune engraved on it.
Perhaps we should not be touching magical things willy-nilly. If they were in a magically locked chest, there's probably a good chance that there was a reason for it.
They also said that there would be things here to help us, yes? Rhal, grabs one of the coins, too.
Why don't I take some time and I'll try to figure out what these coins are. Don't touch the books. I'll see if I can try to figure out what language they're in afterwards.
Okay. Okay.
Those potion bottles, those remind me of some very old ones we had. You may recall. The ones that kind of sliced all those breathers into pieces.
Right. Yes, I do remember that.
And the one that so you weren't. The one that we threw at Dravos that didn't really work out so well. But maybe, Rhal, you want to hold on to those? Just keep those safe?
Okay. I put them in the stocking, so they're safe.
That's okay.
The look on V's face, yeah, that was a challenging look.
Yeah, that's a look of challenge. You know it's difficult to get in and out of the stalking right now. Please push your luck.
Try to put things into the stocking?
Yep. Breaking through to other planes, teleportations, that kind of stuff. It's just like a nope in this place. It's just very difficult for you to do.
Yeah, I've done it. I think I've done it twice
You remember
here,
this.
and it was sticky, but the stocking's weird here. But they're
Plunging
still playing
your
Go
hands into
Fish.
a bowl of molasses.
I require you to make a wisdom save, please.
That's fine. I just really don't want to, like, he's scared of these bottles. Like,
We've
he doesn't
seen
want
You
what
that
they
do
can
bottle.
know that Laffian and Squash both have bags of holding.
I know they do, but
Yeah.
for some reason they were like, here, Rhal, carry these bottles. And I'm
Well-
like, okay, well, the ones that melt me, okay, yeah, I'll just put them
Oh, yeah,
in
I
the
remember
stocking
that.
so
Nope.
that they can't.
It's more readily accessible if you have it so
They'll
that you
be-
can throw it.
They'll be in my pocket in the
Exactly.
stocking.
Okay, well, that's different.
So that I can't. Yeah, but when we need those, we'll have such a plan that I'll just be able to retrieve it in time. Like, there's no instance
Yeah.
where I think,
Unless we get surrounded by like 10 demon
All right.
bears or something.
Okay, so make your wisdom save to see if you can even break them into the stalking.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I didn't take it at disadvantage, so I'll go ahead and roll again to see if I roll lower than that.
Uh-huh.
But I rolled an 11.
Why don't you tell the listeners what it was?
No, 11 was my lowest one.
No, but please, I insist.
I insist, sir.
It was a
I insist.
natural one.
What kind of a? There we go. No.
But I can spend
even
a
on
key
your
point to
18.
re-roll that.
Yes, you can.
Does it roll with disadvantage again?
Yes, sure. Let's make this harder on you.
Okay. I rolled a 25 and a 24.
Harder. Air quotes.
Again, it feels like you're putting your hand through treacle. And it's just a very uncomfortable feeling as you place these two questionable potions into the stalking and retrieve your hand back before
Okay.
it just doesn't feel right. So please put on your character sheet, like, two questionable potions, stalking question mark. Just loads of question marks over this, please.
Okay, I put them in the stocking. It's still weird there, though. So if we need to have them or use them, we'll have to have a plan, but they're safe. They won't. I don't think they'll blow up, but if they do, I don't think we'll know about it.
Okay, well,
Yeah, you don't think they'll blow up. That's comforting.
well, we've learned that your Spectre can die. Like,
I don't want them to blow up here. What's going? Look, they're just in my pocket on the stocking.
which usually your Spectre's not. You know what? It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Look, if you put
Alright.
them in the holdy bag, they're in the stocking as well. So,
That's a little bit. Okay.
but then put them in the holdy bag.
No, because I didn't mean. Okay,
I don't-
never mind. Never
Want the
mind.
explodey bottles.
No,
to
Rhal,
have
you're
that.
fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're good. Good job, Rhal.
Okay,
Here's
Lafayette,
here's
you
a
want to
ration.
cast Identify on these coins?
Yes, I identify the coins.
Okay. So yeah, that's a few side points ticked off.
Yep.
These require attunement. You can only be attuned to one at a time.
Uh-huh.
It will allow you to re-roll a death saving throw, and then the coin is used up.
Oh.
Forever. But it requires attunement.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So these coins are apparently a way to avoid potentially dying. But it's a one and done, and you need to be connected to it. You can only connect to one at a time, though.
Squash is going to reach into the box and pick up one of the coins that nobody picked up. And it's just like, well, seems like a good idea to me.
As long as
Unless-
you don't hit your limit on items that you can be bonded with.
Oh, no problem. I have the cloak and my crossbow. Other than that, I'm cool.
All right.
Should
so
be able to do.
I will attune to this for certain.
I will attune to one also as well.
I'm going to
Rhal,
hold on
do
to
you have enough slots?
Belt of protection.
the Ring of Dark Vision.
Yes. So that's another one. And also the knuckle dusters.
3.
You're at your
You
limit
don't
then.
even need the coin, so someone just take the coin. Just don't let him.
You know who
don't let
needs
him
the
have it.
coin?
You have luck points. You should never need to do this.
V.
V. You're rolling real dice now. You're rolling real dice now. So you shouldn't be worrying about this anymore.
All right.
The curse of roll 20 is lifted on your saves.
Is it?
All right. Just note on your character that you have 2, but you're attuned to 1. Like,
I'll hold on
easy
to
enough.
the other one. Worst case scenario, whoever ends up using one will supplement.
Yeah, you don't need it. You're never going to hit death
You
saves.
literally have that, Neil. Just as a feature.
You don't need this.
Okay, yeah.
You just don't need this, Neil.
I'll hold on to the coin because it's pretty.
All right. Okay.
No.
What? You go for, you want to
I'm
Okay.
holding 2, and then Zaltanna has 1, Squash has 1.
How are you holding 2 if
Are
I picked
you
up 1?
folks setting
taking
up
it.
any
You
watches?
stole V. Art
Or
stole
you're
my
just going to
coin.
rely on the alarm spell?
Arch,
I was
go
the
to
second one to
timeout.
pick. I was the second one to pick up a coin.
Arch,
Rhal,
go to timeout.
are you going to hand the coin over to Laffian, or are you
Yes,
just going to keep hold of
That's
it?
fine, but he didn't
Okay.
steal it.
It's the
Okay.
principle of the matter.
Well, back around to my original question.
have-
Are you setting any watches for the night?
I think Squash assures them that with the alarm spell, we should be fine. That plus the mirage wall.
Okay. All right. I'll accept this.
I'm only
okay.
meditating for 4 hours anyways. The other 4 I'm going to spend focusing on the 2 books. You said there was 2 books, right?
Yeah, but remember that you still need 8 hours of rest. So intently studying stuff does not count as rest.
Oh.
So if you look at these intently, properly trying to use your psionic focus and all this good jazz, that's still going to be more effort, and you are still suffering from a level of oh no, you cleared your exhaustion, so my bad.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it this evening, so long as you get 8 hours of rest the next day. That's totally fine. You're supposed to be doing light stuff in those 8 hours.
Light reading.
Yeah, this is not light reading.
He's very curious, so he'll study
This
it.
would be some heavy ass shit.
He's
Yeah.
going to
Okay, so long as you
study
get 8 hours the next day, you can do this. Not a problem.
He's still going to use the
All
4
right,
to meditate, so it's like a short rest, or yeah, I guess short rest.
I'll allow you to have long rest. That's fine. But if you do this again tomorrow, then you won't.
Okay,
you will
no.
suffer exhaustion and won't get long rest.
All right.
So that's fine. Okay. All right then. Laffian, reading the books.
What language is it?
It's not in a language that you recognize. This is a language that you just don't know the name of.
Oh.
You would assume it's probably Tinguran.
Oh, the Selkie people.
Yes.
Okay.
You would assume it's them.
Cool.
The books talk about observing the natural habitat around them, looking at the world. Looking at the dates in them, this is probably 400-500 years back in the past. It's been a while. And it talks about the changing. It talks about how the fact that the ice has grown beyond the port city that you were in, that the ice has gone much further than expected. Kind of going through reading how far, it's definitely grown a lot more since even they've been dead or when they wrote these journals. It talks about an accident that they suffered at the the top of the cliff, where these things called frost veils moved in and began to attack them, and has taken a few of their people down into the base of the waterfall itself. It talks about that hazard, how it how it crushed in on some of them, but they just got away. It also talks about the final days, where the words don't come to them as naturally. They just seem to be suffering some sort of fever, but they think they'll get through it. But they also hear the gnawing and the eating of critters around them, and how their friends just didn't make it one day. They just didn't wake up. That chest wound, they thought it was nothing. And there is a lot of regret and worry in there. It talks about how they broke their ankle climbing back down to this place a few days before. It talks about how they left the Rend. It talks very little about the Rend itself, but it talks about the day they left, how they were going to go out on this survey, how they made their way down this circular, spiraling staircase, and how they had to be very, very careful because a few of the steps just weren't there. But they could tell they where they were. It was totally fine. They don't go into any more detail, except they make it down to the bottom. They mention that there are big snake-like creatures in here with long fangs, and how they just managed to get away, the 4 of them. And then it talks about the survey of the land, how things have changed, how things are colder than they were, and how they'd expected them for the rend to be. They draw a symbol, just a few circles here and there, with dots all around them, just little specks. And they talk about like how this is a constellation, how they theorize what these stars might mean, but they don't go into any more detail, just that they're going to draw them from a different position and then they'll take them back for the great research. That's kind of the gist of what you get from these tomes. There are also some magic tomes in here. Spells that are beyond your comprehension. They don't even bother labeling them. They just draw the arcane runes and flip a page and there's another set of arcane runes. Nothing on how to cast them, nothing about components or semantics, just the rune. That's the information you get through the evening.
The journals he's going to keep in his bag.
Mm-hmm.
The magic ones, though, knowing that Squash has been trying to study up, he's going to just, whenever Squash is sleeping, he'll just leave them in a pile next to him.
Okay, that's totally fine. All right, that's your 8 hours. And being that you make it through 8 hours, you're not attacked, nothing comes for you, you're in the middle of a cliff. This is pretty safe. You make it through a night. You may click your long rest, but you have to do a proper rest tomorrow.
Woo!
Okay, Zaltanna.
That's who I am.
That is. You spent some time bonding with Electo over the evening, and like she kind of huddles up to you a little closer just to keep you that little bit warmer. As you begin to nod off, I would like you to make a religion check, please.
Yeah, okay.
This can just be a normal straight roll because this is not affected by the weather.
Guess what? 21.
As you close your eyes and you begin to like drift off, reach out, whatever it is that you do to unwind, you hear a voice in kind of like someone's talking really far away, but if you concentrate on it, you can hear it. And the voice is that of a young woman. And she says, "Okay, I'm hoping this works. Zaltanna, I need your help. There is our landlord threw us all out because we can't pay our rent because he raised it 3 times over the last... Every god that dies, they raise it, and now we can't afford it, and he just threw all of us out. We have nowhere to go. I'm just so fucking mad. Please, just help me. I don't know what to do."
Fucking parasitic ass landlords.
Is there anything you would like to do, help them or send them?
Zone of
Level 3
death.
smite.
Zaltanna is a communist god.
All are equal in my anger.
If only because she's being played by him. Give me a second to look through. Like, is that this for a one-use spell is only something that I have, or like I can only
So like your spells, so long as you have the slots for them, you can pass them on to your whomever it is that is praying to you right now. You can do that, like your leftover resources you can send to them. You could also send them like your bonus for intimidations. You could tell them you could tell them something as well. Like you could just say like, just bop him in the face. Like you could give anything like that, but it can only do one thing.
Her landlord.
You can send her a smite. What level smite do you wish to send her?
I'm gonna send her a
One strong enough to kill him dead.
I'm gonna give her.
Be careful because they are like peasant level. You wouldn't assume that he would have like a lot of health. One of your smites, I think, could literally kill someone.
I don't like the level of Zaltanna's anger and the level of kicking out a family, raising a family's rent too high, and then kicking them out and making them homeless is very evil. And I definitely do not give a shit if this landlord gets killed by this person. In fact,
Okay.
They're not asking me for advice on what to do. I am not the god of how to negotiate with your landlord. I am the god of bloody vengeance.
So you're okay with this person potentially killing a landlord?
I don't know how many times I need to
didn't-
remind people that Zaltanna's not a good person.
But you just didn't trust Honorino. That was that
All
one.
right, so you are
No, I
forwarding a
fucking
smite.
hate Honorino, and I told him that I give him a 10-year reprieve from me killing him, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to go back and kill him when that's over. Like I have levels of vengeance, and like he did some good things to like level it out, but
Okay, so you are sending a level of smites, levels of smite.
I'm sending
all the levels
I'm
of
sending
smite?
a first level smite and the advice that they should use the knowledge that they have this in order to, and I'm putting this in heavy quotes, renegotiate their lease.
Okay. You get a momentarily, like, as you send this out to your follower, the person asking for help, you momentarily see their hands just erupt in like reddish electricity, like it just crackles over their skin. So that's the equivalent of them like having smite in their fists. So, all right, you have passed on smite. I love it. Okay,
Hello, landlord.
I love it so much.
I am here to renegotiate our lease. Well, you didn't, I'm sorry. We just keep having to raise the rent and you just can't afford it. So you have to be living on the street homeless. Oh, do I? Because, my fists are saying otherwise. Get a real job, landlord.
I love this negotiation tactic. I love it. Okay, fantastic. That is your evening.
I do not condone punching your landlord in real life. I feel like I should make that clear that I Casey'd.
But you're allowed to level 3 slap them.
But Zaltanna will punch them right to Cicero.
So let's all join each other in our fantasy world to beat up landlords, okay?
One time, Zaltanna,
Okay.
when Zaltanna was young, Zaltanna read fantasy Karl Marx and fantasy Adam Neville, and now she hates landlords. She's like, wow, fantasy Adam Neville, you're right. Landlords are parasitic leeches.
This is for legal purposes. Murdering your landlord is bad. Don't do that.
What if we have landlords that listen to us and then they're like, wow, Casey fucking hates us?
I think there's a non-zero chance that the landlord might listen to us.
All right, Rhal, is there anything you want to do this evening?
He's going to work hard on his egg.
Okay.
That's about
You can definitely continue to, I'm going to say you're not really going to be burning your hands so much this time round because you are able to do it in good light. There's no horrible wind around you. You're not open to the elements, even though you built that wonderful kind of half igloo thing that was still outside. Like, this is definitely inside and you're able to work on this a little bit easier. So, yes, progress can be made on the egg. Step 1, make egg. Squash.
Step 1.
I think Squash has taken the chance of just sleeping and just resting. He's genuinely just snoring.
For such a tiny person, he snores so loud. Okay, that's totally fine. All right, the next morning rolls around. Rhal, I would like you to make your check, please.
It's a D8.
You're still on a D8, yes.
I ask every time. It's still scary.
Not a problem.
D8 is scary. There it is. 1.
Okay. I need you to resolve an attack against yourself. Lafian, who is basically awake / studying, coming to the end of a tome, you see Rhal beginning to fizz and foam, and he looks in a terrible amount of pain, and he is not waking up.
Oh, good.
You also drop down 1 level, so you're now on D6s.
Oh, boy. All right.
And you suffer a level of exhaustion, which will not be cleared by any magical brain coffee.
I'm pretty
No
sure
brain
this
coffee?
puts me all the way down. I don't think I resolve an attack. I think I go
you
right
stay
to
at
1.
0 because...
Yeah, it kills me.
You stay at 0. You stay at 0. Okay. Are you going to heal him? Because he won't regain health any other way.
This is like right before everyone's supposed to be waking up anyways?
Yeah.
He'll wake up Zaltanna.
What?
Zaltanna!
What's up?
Rhal! And like Lafine's like busy like holding Rhal's head so like he doesn't fucking smash it against the ground or something.
What happened to Rhal?
He's having another episode. I'm trying to keep his head still so he doesn't give himself a fucking concussion.
What? I don't have any more
You have everything back.
Oh, I was gonna
Heal him, please.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna pat him on his lolling head for like 20 healing.
20 healings. Okay.
Ooh. Because it's fun. And I like flavor. Lafine, when Zaltanna reaches over to do the healing again, Lafine's going to try to, again, recreate that, like, enhanced healing that we did to Rorunwa. And try to do it to Rhal, to try to fuse divine magic and psionics and try to amplify.
Okay.
I know I'm making shit up on the spot, but I think it's cool.
That's how we do this shit. Sure. Roll whatever hit points it is that you wanted.
All right. So
however many like hit points you're willing to pour into Rhal.
I'll give Rhal 7 side points, because I know that if we don't heal him enough, he's just gonna be fucking like tripping balls the whole day. For 31 HPs.
Okay, as the pair of you work together to reinfuse health back into your body, Rhal, you regain twice the amount of hit points for 102.
Ooh, Jesus.
I'm only going to let you two do this out of combat, by the way. Like, in combat, this is not a thing. Okay.
It's because we both have time to concentrate and focus.
Yeah, basically. Like, you're not in the middle of, like, acid, like, flying around you, fire coming at your face, Daichin mocking you. There's none of that bullshit here.
Please tell me Daichin is vicious mockery. If he doesn't, he should.
He is vicious mockery.
Or wait, were we talking about Daichin or David?
Did you... I refuse to answer on the grounds that I love David. Okay. All right. The morning dawns. The storm has lessened significantly. The winds that were oh so bad for the most of the day yesterday, last night they were slowing, and now they are just mildly annoying. It is still effing cold. Squash, Lafine, you remove the exhaustion you gained from yesterday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You should get that back anyway.
I cleansed it from the coffee.
Yeah, you cleansed from coffee.
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Brain power.
You have 2 question mark potions. You each have coins, and Lafine has 2. And there are 2 journals and one magical tome, which Squash now has. What do the 4 of you want to do now?
I did some reading last night. The books that I was looking through, Squash, there's one there that you can peruse at your leisure.
Thank you.
The ones I was looking through that seemed to be a recounting of the 2 unfortunate souls here. Apparently there was more of them, but the creatures that we had heard tale of are on the top of this cliff, and it seems like they've been making camp in this area. Granted, I guess this book was about 400, 500 years old, so whether or not they're still in the area is to be determined, but we should be careful. There's also mention of the rend itself and something about a spiral staircase that we need to be careful of if we go down. There's brief mention of there being a few stairs that aren't there or just not functional. And also, Giant, he pauses, looks at Rhal, who's still probably got like a little bit of dribble coming out, and is there's a problem at the bottom of the stairs that we'll need to worry about, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh no.
Squash is upset
Why?
because you said giant, and then you cut off, looked at Rhal, and then there's a problem. It's just like, oh god, oh no.
But the main concern is going to be just making sure that we get to the waterfall in the first place. There's some diagrams in here of constellations of the sort. I'm not entirely sure how they correlate. It could be instructions or like navigation, but the weather's also been really shitty for me to be able to see constellations in the first place, but we'll see. Especially because I don't know what time of year it was when this was written.
All right.
In either case, we should definitely get moving.
Yeah.
Rhal, are you good to take the rope to the top of the cliff this time around?
I can try.
All right.
Okay. Rhal, as you go outside and begin to like deal with the rope and get that, as you look up, it's clear enough now that the top of the cliff is only about 30 feet up.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll go up that. And
Okay. It is an easy enough climb, especially because you can just kind of run up. The wind is up the top here is virtually non-existent now. It's not really snowing that heavily. It's just a few flakes that are falling here and there. As you scale to the top of the cliff, ahead of you, a couple of 100 feet, maybe a mile, I don't know, feet and inches, I don't know if I can know. A distance off, you can see that there is a cut in the snow, and you can see water flowing in this cut just away from the cliff face that you are. But directly ahead of you, about a mile, maybe a bit more, you can see a waterfall.
okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
I secure the rope and get everyone else up.
With the rope and non-extreme conditions, all of you are able to make it up.
Thank you.
Waterfall is about a mile ahead of you.
All right. I guess we're there.
We should still keep an eye out. We don't know if there could be any of these strange creatures around.
That is a good point.
It also mentioned them taking these people's companions into the base of the waterfall, so if anything, that's probably where they would have a nest or camp or den, whatever you want to call it. Granted, again, this was a couple 100 years ago.
Is this where the test is?
I don't think it's the test itself. I think it's just more obstacles.
All right. I'll take the lead and keep an eye out. And yeah, there's nothing.
Make a perception check for me, please.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Disadvantage or
The disadvantage is now passed because the storm has passed.
I also slept really well, so haha.
You did sleep okay.
And that's a natural 20 on my roll. Prepare to have whatever snake thingies you have hidden around be spotted. That's a 33.
V, why did it have to be snakes?
V, what is Station doing? Squash C Station.
No. That's the only snake I will accept.
No.
Aw.
Dachin is currently hidden behind the waterfall, waiting for you.
No.
As you make it in there, he like kicks you in the chest, Sparta style.
Oh, I thought it would be waiting with like
Remember
a pie.
this feeling, buddy. Anyway, as you make your way towards this waterfall, you can see that around the waterfall there are some very large, kind of black-ish looking stone with cuts made in them, obviously by tools. Someone has made this path easier to get to. As you make your way there, as you look at the snow, there is something glinting odd on either side of the water, the kind of river that is coming from the waterfall itself. There's something odd on the snow. and it just shifts ever so slightly that only you percept.
I want to shoot it with my crossbow.
Are you going to?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is like 30 feet out.
Yeah, there's like a evil, like the book talked about something killing people here. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to listen to the 400-year-old book. If you're hiding here, I'm going to assume you're evil.
When we were back at the school, too, I did mention that the creatures around this area were described as, snowflake things, right? I remember Urog, or I think it was either Urog or just one of the books I was looking over.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the Hunters.
Oh, the Hunters?
And the book, yeah. Yeah, I think it's the Hunters in the book. Okay, Squash, I'm going to describe the scene a little bit more.
Okay.
For reasons.
Okay.
There is a bit of a waterway, a very small river that is coming from where the waterfall is landing on the ground.
Yes.
You would also note that most of this water is actually going below the ground. There is something even further down.
Yes.
You notice that the pathway, these stones that have been chiseled at to make a man-made path up to the waterfall itself, the pathway either side of the river is about 15 feet wide either side of this river, with the tall black stones that have been cut into, creating one side of this. So you basically have rock, path, river, path, rock, and then you have the waterfall ahead of you.
Okay.
These weird kind of snowflake-looking motherfuckers, they are as wide as the path. And they're on both sides. You are also pretty sure... Fuck you. On your natural 20, you are definitely sure there is more than 2 on each side.
And I saw them shift just slightly.
Yes, one of them shifting was enough for you to catch your gaze on each of the others, which are completely stationary.
Does it appear to have any kind of eyes or something like that I could have spotted?
Nope.
All right. Fuck. All right, then Squash is gonna stop. And Squash is not staring at it, but he's looking around. And he's gonna say in I'm pretty sure I have a language called Halfling. Yes.
Halfling is language, yes.
Yeah, no, just undercommon. Just something that's not common, whatever these things are. Because I know Lafayette understands undercommon. And Squash is just kind of looking up, and he says in undercommon, there are snowflake monsters ahead, and I don't know if they notice. Squash is speaking undercommon, unless Rhal
understands it.
No! Oh,
Rhal can speak any language.
Were you saying it? Oh, you were saying it in undercommon, so specifically so Rhal wouldn't get freaked out.
Not just Rhal, just keeping it cool for a minute.
I'm going to make sure Rhal doesn't have a panic attack and faint. I'm going to use a language he doesn't understand. Rhal, what?
What's he saying?
Actually, I think you speak undercommon anyway, right? Sorry, that you speak halfling anyway. Or is it gnomish that you learned?
I do speak halfling.
From the apple.
All right, yeah.
That's good. Good
oh
point,
my
V.
gosh. Yeah, okay, so I picked the one language you wouldn't understand, but you still understand it. Great.
Yeah.
Never going to get one past that boy.
I mean, the creatures might not, which would be good.
Okay, so Ralph just goes, what? And Squash stares at him for a second. They're like, all right. Let's keep it cool. Okay, switching to common. Squash just turns around away from the snowcorn monsters or snowflake monsters or whatever they are. That just goes okay, there are things on the path. They look scary. They're whatever the people were telling us about. One of them moved just a tiny little bit.
How many are there?
More than 2.
Okay.
That could be many of them.
Yes, Ralph.
I don't think we can sneak past them.
At this point, no. I guess the real question is, what is this? What are these things? Are they magical in nature? Are they natural?
Can I make a roll of some sort, V?
Sure. What do you want to roll?
Arcana, history.
Pick one. Just tell me what you're choosing, and I'll give you a response based on what you roll.
Let's go Arcana, because Lafian's assuming they're probably magical in nature.
Ooh.
Okay.
If we turned them into spiders with magic, they wouldn't be able to get near us.
Oh my fucking god, you're right. Except none of us have polymorph.
I
Neil.
have polymorph.
Do you?
I do.
No, Casey. No. How do you
Oh,
know?
Oh wait, sorry. That is my other D&D character has it. I got so
I was about
excited.
to say, Casey, I know your character sheet. No, you don't.
You should have seen V's V having a heart attack.
Oh no, I roll with it. This will be the biggest change of events.
I got a 29 Arcana.
Okay. Squash's question of are they natural or are they magical? They are naturally occurring magical beasts.
So yes, to both.
Beast is incorrect.
not both?
They are magically occurring magical plants.
Oh.
You would, as you notice that Squash had stepped forward, and then whenever anybody makes that momentary move a little bit more towards them, Squash, you would notice that they seem to react to that. And Lafian, you could probably deduce on your 30 Arcana that they are attracted to heat sources.
Oof.
This is all I'm gonna really give you.
Okay.
Because you really haven't heard of these. This is mostly on intellectual guesswork.
Yeah. Did my deductions.
Yes, you deduce.
We need to have a side story now of Lafian and Squash, like Sherlock Holmes type style. That would be so good.
Is it the Doctor Who one that has the lady and her human wife, and the human wife is just a fucking rogue? I love those two. They're so good. Sorry,
Don't
Karen.
know.
Not enough.
Sorry, they're set in the Victorian era, so perfect. Keep this in. Someone who listens to Doctor Who will get that now.
Okay.
Best I can understand of it is they're some sort of magical but also naturally occurring plant creature. It seems like they may react to heat sources.
Heat sources?
Right. Anytime that we moved even closer, even when you just twitched a little there, it seems like they react.
Okay. Wait a second. I'm having an idea.
I'm having an idea as well, but I'm curious what yours is.
Boy, don't you wish that you'd learned Fireball last night?
Funny thing, I have a walking fireball.
Anyway, Squash.
Yeah.
I have a
one
walking
second.
fireball that can punch things.
I
I'm going to make myself into a snowman.
No, Rhal, no. That's not how that works.
Fight me.
choose a non-magical flame.
I'm rolling around in the snow. How do we make ourselves cold?
Wait, if you do your scary Reaper thing, does that make you an abominable snowman?
Oh.
right.
does-
Not yeti.
Oh. Snowball, sponsor us.
You're welcome.
Blue, sponsor us.
I have a
Squash, you have.
spell called Control Flame.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So if we light a torch and just chuck it out there somewhere, and another torch and chuck it out somewhere else, I can make the fires brighter and less bright to try to distract them as we move.
Okay,
That is an
I will
idea.
accept that.
We also have a fire elemental, but it is magical, so I could not fuck with it with my Control Flames. I also have a spell called Firebolt, but that is a
Temporary.
It's a quick.
So one and done.
Yeah, it's a one and done, and it goes from me somewhere. So I have a feeling that the plant things would backtrace the thing.
And you know that Rhal
heat
has
signatures.
his unseen servant too, so we could have a couple different things trailing them around. There's a couple
Alright.
different options with that idea.
Have the unseen skin servant take the torch, go out, and
Run around and Squash just makes the fire brighter to get the things over there.
I
Okay,
want to
I
say
like
this
this
is trimmers, but that's not correct. That's it.
No, you're not far off. It kind of is
It
tremors.
is
Feels
very
the
close to
fire.
tremor, and I love it.
It might be icy tremors.
This is good. I love
No.
Wait, are these aren't butt blasters, right? Please don't be butt blasters.
No, there aren't going to be any giant worms jumping up. But yeah, this idea came to me thanks to tremors.
Really?
it. Love
I thought
it.
you hated tremors.
It's a shitty
I do.
movie.
I
but
hate it with a fiery passion.
Yeah,
it's a terrible movie.
it's classic.
But however,
It's a classic
pull
shitty
back
movie.
behind the can. Yeah. Of course I've seen it. Okay, so you are lighting some torches.
Yes.
Yes.
You're having Rhal's unseen servant take one or take both of them or however many you decide to use and take them out into wherever. Squash, how close do you need to be for control flame?
60 feet.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Your plan is to lure the snowflake frostveil creatures to the lights so you can sneak past them.
Yes. So I think the intention would be to give the unseen servant 3 torches, have it walk roughly 60 feet away from us and away from the path, put down 1 torch, walk forward a little bit, put down another torch, walk forward a little bit, put down another torch. And the intention would be to have 3 separate flames we can engage and try to get the one snowflake that's on our path away from the path.
So on the narrow path, there are 2 or 3 of them on whichever path you're going to be choosing.
Okay,
there
yeah.
will be a couple of them.
Okay, then I think we're putting down a torch for at least for the first one, and we're going to see if this plan works.
Okay. All right. Fair play. All right. Torches go out.
Yeah, deleting 3 torches.
Control flame is used.
Boop.
You make one ever so brighter. All right. I would like, since Squash is controlling the flames, to please make a deception check.
I think I'm okay at those. Yeah, I'm not the worst. That's a 15.
Okay. You set them on the path. Your unseen servant takes each of these torches and puts them down. Squash, at the very edge of your magical ability, this is further probably than you've done most spells recently, you make one of the flames very bright, very enticing. You can see the torches burning away so much quicker now because you're making it that much hotter, that much brighter. The first snowflake that is about 15 feet wide begins to lift up very slowly and make its way towards the flame. You see it engulf the entire thing, and you can see this beautiful snowflake just wrap around the torch. And you see it begin to fizz and melt, almost like the torch is being affected by some sort of acid. You see the second one lift up and make its way towards the same burning flame, and it too wraps around it. What do you want to do?
I want to ease forward and try to get within range of the third torch to try to get what I think might be the last snowflake, and if not, we'll come to that bridge when we come to it.
I need you to make a stealth check for me.
All right.
Are you doing anything? No, actually, no, I'm not going to ask a single damn
No,
thing.
that's a real good point. I think all of us are wrapping ourselves as well as we can, try to keep as little skin exposed and keeping our heads down, our face covered, so as not to expose anything that they might see.
Then you could take advantage.
Thank you. Sorry, as soon as you started asking a question, my brain instantly went I know what the question is. I know exactly what the question is. That is a 25 on a stealth.
Okay.
That's a
B1, they
low
have
roll.
good perception.
Yeah, that was a 4 and a 5.
Okay. You make your way slowly forward, everyone else coming with. We'll say that you lead a group check, that's fine. You make your way very, very slowly forward, sneaking past the snowflake that is wrapped around, the snowflakes that are wrapped around the brightest of torches, which is burning away very quickly now, not just because of your bright flame, but also because of the acidic effect that they seem to be having on this wood. You make it to the next one. You control flame at the last one
Yes.
to make it brighter.
Yes.
As you make it brighter and brighter, the snowflakes behind you just begin to rattle, and you hear the torch drop into the snow and go out. The very far snowflake begins to lift up and make its way towards you. Perhaps towards the torch, you don't know right now. But there are two behind you and one in front of you. What are the three of you doing? They're all in movement.
Squash.
I don't think it's working.
Fight or flight.
Okay, honestly, give me 3 seconds.
1, 2.
I need more spells! Alright, I think Squash is gonna just fire a bolt at the thing that seems to be approaching us, and just yell, "Run!"
Run? Run.
Run.
Okay.
Not fight, run.
Like there's
All right.
one in our path. We have to like get it out of the way before we can pass it. I'm
The
assuming.
four of you are all four of you just following Squash's. Sorry, are the three of you following Squash's direction, just running towards the waterfall?
Yeah. I'm trusting him on this. He said run. I'm running.
Rhal?
If we can get in the water, they won't be able to see us.
You will get hypothermia and die.
But I won't die from the acid cold monster, which is ideal at the present moment.
I think I would prefer that over hypothermia.
Nah.
All right. Rhal, are you entering the river to run up to, like, I say river, it's not that much of a river, it's mostly the offspray from the waterfall, because most of the water is going down into the earth. So it's not massively high, it's probably about 2.5 feet. So you could definitely get in there and run along it if you want to.
Oh, goodness. I don't
How far away
no,
from the
I
waterfall
don't-
are we at this point?
Let's say 100 feet.
What if the torches is going, if any, right now?
One of the torches, if you look back, has fallen into the snow and gone out. There are two more. Squash has made the furthest one, i.e. the third one,
Wait.
really bright.
I thought they went after both. I still have a.
Huh?
I have a torch waiting.
Yeah, you have like two torches. Like the first, like the first two of the snowflakes went around the first one.
I misunderstood. Can I not fire that bolt like a lunatic?
Yes.
I would rather like to go for the second flame to try to make it brighter, rather than like
Okay.
I lean down, like go down on hunches, go for the other flame, and just hope and pray that the other stupid fucking flake that's coming down the path gets off the path.
Basically, they react exactly the same. So two of them that were on the one that just fell, both of those are making their way towards the now very bright one. And the other one is coming towards you, but the one that you've made bright, it could also be heading in that direction. You can't tell. It's either coming at your face or it's going to the torch just next to you.
No,
Like,
these are on the path?
you can't tell right now.
The one that is in front of us is still on the path, but it might veer off the path to get to the flame.
Correct.
I still have my unseen servant doing nothing right now.
They're still up. Yeah.
Tio's around. We still have... Yeah, Rhal's gonna be lighting a tinder box and getting ready to send the unseen servant out with some more torches. He's gonna light some more torches the best he can. He probably has a handful. Probably just a small handful from when he couldn't see in the dark.
Back in the good old days. Yeah. Okay, you can definitely light more torches.
If I don't have any, I'll light some rope. And send them out
You do have an
trailing,
extra 100 foot of old
trailing
rope.
some fiery rope.
You would have a couple of torches still. Okay, so you light extra torches. I would like you to make a deception check, please.
What does exhaustion do? I have disadvantage at this.
Let me see. The first level of exhaustion.
It's disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay, it's a 5. I just light myself on fire.
No, you don't.
Turn it.
You try and light these. You try and light them, but they don't seem to be doing much. They seem to be more attracted to the brighter flame that Squash is emanating on one of these torches. Are the four of you just staying still, or are you going to keep moving forward?
I am following Squash's lead.
Well, Squash is fucking panicking because of course it had to be fucking acid.
Yeah, bud. Yeah,
Sorry.
you and me both.
Okay, give me a rundown here. Does it look like these things are coming at us still, or like the torches?
The two behind you. The two behind you, because y'all have been standing here for a while now, just trying to figure out what the fuck. They have now like closed in on the second really bright torch that Squash has been doing.
And the
other one is coming to you and is about 15 feet away from you, and it might be veering towards the torches, or it might be coming at you. You basically have this split second to decide what you're going to do.
Okay.
Of course, you can choose to do nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Okay. In that case, Laufey's going to whisper to the group, we need to move quickly towards the cave. If they come towards us, I'd rather we be fighting on one front instead of from front and behind. Go, now.
Okay.
All right.
Squash, are you maintaining your control over the flame?
If I can. The duration of the spell is an hour, so I can leave the range and it will stay lit.
Yep, it's not concentration.
Lit as fuck, yo. As you brighten this flame as much as you can, you again become aware that this torch is going to burn out exceptionally quickly, especially with the acidic effect of these snow magical plant things. As you make your way forward and you just pray and hope that the one in front of you doesn't turn and collapse in on you, it passes by you, swerves around behind you, and then floats backwards towards the flame.
Fuck off.
Your deception had it hidden for a while. You've been fine for a while, and all of you bolt your way towards the waterfall.
I feel like Laufey, as soon as they get to the cave, like lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding.
Well, passes out.
No, he doesn't.
Aww. You're not the boss of me.
Okay.
Roll a D1. On a 1, you don't pass that.
As you run towards this kind of the waterfall, you basically have to jump through it. So as each of you jump through, it's not a big jump. I'm not going to make you roll anything. You do notice as you get closer, you can very clearly see the cave now that you're much closer to it behind the waterfall. And you can look down as you jump, and this drop is so deep that not even those of you with natural dark vision can see the bottom of it. Much like when Rhal looks down underneath the lava pits, the floating island thing, you just can see the bottom.
Oh, good.
You jump through the waterfall, and all of you are drenched head to toe in freezing cold water. In front of you, there is a large cave system. It's right now maybe a couple of 100 feet wide as you kind of break into this kind of cavern that has been formed. This is a very natural looking cavern. Something natural has made this. It's just too random. It's not made by magic. It's not made by people. It goes on for a distance. There are the odd remains of a few camps here and there. People have clearly taken refuge here. And you would know that that's the case because the two hunters mentioned that they had. This is what you see when you jump through the waterfall.
Okay. I think we should be good here. I think we should try to dry ourselves off, warm up as best we can. Maybe look through the camps here, see if anything got left behind, and then we need to move on. I think the water itself should conceal our presence from those creatures.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Light up a fire.
Yeah.
Real quick, I guess just another torch or whatever, just light a few sparks.
It's not even, as you say, mentioned about looking through the camps, you can see that there is a fire that has already been made. It is ready to be lit. It is one of the more recent camps. You can see that there are a couple of bedrolls around. There's boxes full of dried rations.
Oh.
This is a very recent setup, and there's only 2 bedrolls that are kind of here in that area. The fire is literally one spark from a tinderbox away from being made.
That's convenient. I look for traps.
Take an investigation check. Anyone could also take a basic survival check and know what this is.
27. This is too convenient.
Absolutely no trap whatsoever.
It's a stick mimic.
Basic survival check.
There's a magical circle. You step inside. You
Campfire mimic.
Would you like to save the
Creates
game?
the fire by making a magical fireball. Boom.
I rolled a 30 on a survival.
It's not unheard of, and in fact, it's usually encouraged that if there are safe havens, that fires will be ready to be made, because if you are coming in from the cold and your hands are cold and shaking, you often may not have the time or the ability to build a fire and then light it. It is one of those, you leave it how you found it for the next person who might need this emergency stop.
Ah.
See, that makes sense, but we're all dumb.
We all are super suspicious, and that's how you should be.
Also, I'm
I've
not a
been too nice in
survivalist.
places. Yeah.
We are
It's
sus.
just one of those things.
My only training of survival came from a very angry half-dwarf.
I love him.
I hope he's doing all right.
Okay. You make the fire very quickly, as it was intended. You all managed to dry off, but it's going to take about an hour, so you should be getting a short rest to properly, basically de-thaw the water that is kind of on your person right now, just to cool it and dry it off. You're never going to be dry right now unless you spend an inordinate amount of time changing your clothes and putting them over the fire and all that good shit. Basically, everything you have is now wet. You can spend an hour, get yourselves a short rest, whatever that may or may not do for any of y'all. You now have some time. What do you want to do now?
Okay. Let me see where we are and try to figure out the proper course. I know the hunters were able to give us a little bit of help on some of this, and let me see where we're going. So Lafian will just pull out the cave maps.
Yes, the cave maps aren't complete. Like you would have a rough idea that once you got to the caves, you would have to head in a specific direction, but you were unable to plot a specific course through these. They were just too... Some of them are built, some of them aren't. So the more natural ones, they're not plotted.
Right.
But you know a general direction of head north, and that's going to be a really good guide for getting there.
Okay. Okay. I think we should be... We're at the entrance to the cave here, so it shouldn't be too bad. Let me just do one thing. I have an idea. It's a little trick I learned from Talvin a long while ago. He's going to get just... he's going to try to fashion, like, a small bowl or something like that, or I assume he's got, like, one from his mess kit.
Yeah.
He's going to get some water from the waterfall. And he's just going to get, like, something that'll float in the water, and he's going to pull out that little 3-inch pin from forever ago. And he's going to try to fashion, like, a compass. Just so that he has a rough idea, since we're heading north.
Does none of us have a compass?
Probably
It's
not.
Why
not
would
a
we?
standard. It's not really a standard
Like-
thing.
No.
That being said, I remember in elementary school making one of these.
Yeah. I guess I just need to decide whether the magnetic north is in the same place as actual north.
Things you don't think
'Cause that's
about when
the only
making
way
a D&D
it
world.
work. Well, sure. Yes. Since our world is spherical, sure, it will go north.
Excuse me, my background is flat.
Hashtag not flat Earth, not flat Bigron. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can make a very crude compass. If you're going to be focusing on that, basically any of your kind of standard checks, you aren't going to notice shit. If you're looking at this often, also because it's on water, like
I have to make sure I don't
it's
spill
going to
it
be
and whatnot.
difficult. Yeah, like this is not going to be easy for you to maintain at all times, because there are some interesting sections ahead. All right, cool. Okay. You are mostly dry, all of y'all. You are mostly ready. You mostly have a good functioning compass.
It's better than nothing.
Conveniently, this tunnel that you're in heads north. And all of you make your way along this tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
You come to a point where the tunnel itself, after probably about an hour and a half of walking, the ground is very uneven. There are points where you put your foot down. I'm going to assume Squash is in the lead. You put your foot down and you hear like cracking and creaking, and you pull your foot back and try a different way around. There's something not necessarily right about some of the places that you're walking, and I'm going to give it to you for the first hour and a half. Like this is okay. You can deal with this right now. Then you come to a section ahead of you. It looks like the back of the cave is basically reaching its end. It has been going not exactly straight, but mostly straightish, or a few bends here and there. But you notice the back of the cave is beginning to close up, and it's rounding off to a point. Squash, you have dark vision now, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You gave it to me.
Fuck. As you reach the end here, as you look over to the left and the right and you look up and then you look down, you see that there is what looks like a hole in the floor. Most of these sections that you've been avoiding would have broken and cracked, and you know that. As you look ahead of you, you can see one of these sections that have fallen down and collapsed. It's not a big hole. I mean, some of your slightly larger companions would, basically anyone bigger than you would struggle getting into this hole.
Okay.
But as you look down into it, you can see that this has clearly been made. This is clearly an escape. This is clearly an entrance to whatever is down here.
All right.
This is the only other exit out of the cave, other than back through the waterfall. And you narrowly missed seeing it. The stalagmites that are on the floor just obscured it very well.
Right over there, there's a hole in the ground. It's probably the only way forward, if I'm seeing correctly. Still getting used to this whole black and white thing. Squash is gonna approach the hole, and it's deeper than I can see, 60 feet.
Actually, no. The drop is something like 10, 15 feet. You can, as you look down, notice that there have been a couple of grooves that have been put into this stone so that you could climb up it, like that small, like 10 feet or whatever it is. And at the bottom, you notice that it just curves down into an almost flat area, and then it goes out of your vision.
Squash is going to look at the stalagmites that are around. Does any of them show evidence of like having like ropes tied around them earlier, like previously? No. Okay. Well, I think I'm just gonna. It's not a long drop. It's just not gonna be fun to squeeze through here. I think Squash is gonna attach a python to one of the stalactites or stalagmites, or just the floor, and tie a rope to it and chuck it down the hole.
Okay. Yeah, it goes down the hole. There's like 40 feet of it, like 35 feet of it, like curled up at the bottom of like this hole.
And Squash is gonna ease himself down the hole.
Okay. What are the three of you doing?
I'm waiting to hear back from Squash on whether it's clear or not.
Rhal will have T.O. like flying nearby. Just kind of like hovering.
With Squash or two?
With Squash.
Okay. Zaltanna, are you just waiting with the others?
Yes.
Okay. Squash, you use the rope and you climb down. T.O. kind of like settles, not exactly on your head, but close enough that you can feel them like flapping their wings. As you climb down this rope and land at the bottom of this tunnel, you turn around back against the wall, and in front of you, you see what looks like a break into another, much larger tunnel. can I get you to make an active perception or investigation?
Sure.
Like, either one. Doesn't matter.
That's a 23 on perception.
It's only like maybe 10 feet to where this break into the other tunnel is. And as you make your way over there quietly, cautiously, you see that the tunnel that it breaks into is probably about 20, 25 feet diameter. And it's almost a perfect sphere, almost a perfect circle. And as you look to the left and to the right, you notice most of all that this is perfectly smooth. This has not been tooled. This is not naturally forming. And whatever slight curve that you're detecting with your ridiculously high perception, this has been magically made.
Hi everyone, it's Taylor's. They asked me if I could do the outro today because everyone is on a secret place and nobody will tell me where, but they said they wouldn't be here, so I said that I would do it for them. Well, they asked me and then I said, okay, hope I'm doing this right. Wanna have a yell at the people who are banging in the background right now. They're rebuilding the temple. Some things happen and things are falling down, but everything's okay now. So we want to say thank you to all of our patrons. We really appreciate it. You help to keep things go on around here and fix the building when it falls down. Like, you can hear that they're doing right now. So you do things like that for us. So thank you so much for that. Especially thank you to Crystal Hilson and Del Toro 21. I hope I got your names right. Thank you guys for being patrons of ours. And if you want to become a patron like Crystal or like Del Toro, then you can go to patreon.com/TLDpod. I think that's everything. Yep. Okay, I better go back and go back to work now. Bye guys.
Snyder's Return is a tabletop role-playing podcast featuring interviews and a D&D 5e actual play adventure, so you can learn about different game systems and content creation, while also listening to us disrupt everyday life on the Sword Coast. We release episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on your podcasting platform, so come join us as we improvise, adapt, and overcome.